Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jeremy and JP Ruja out on Nonsuch Island, Bermuda, on the 4th of January, 2023. So this is our first sort of report from Nonsuch Island in the new year, and I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a great New Year. I know the weather has been wild in a lot of places here as well, so we're really enjoying about I think the third day of fine weather conditions, and I've really been trying to get caught up, and JP's been trying to get caught up, getting cameras all in good shape, and to see what is happening on these islands, because the last 2 months have been so stormy. I'm way behind in my normal sort of schedule of working with this particular project. But everything looks good right now. We are in the first week of the return of the very first of the Cahows back to their nesting islands, to their nesting burrows, after they've been out at sea for about the last 4 or 5 weeks on what we call the pre-egg laying exodus. And this is after courtship, after nest building and mating. They go out to sea and they feed heavily the female to develop this one very large egg. They only lay a single egg a year, and they can only produce one a year. If that fails, that's it. And that's because it's up to 20 or 25% of her body weight. So that would be like a human having a 30 to 35 pound baby. So just take that in for a second, and then you understand why the female has to go back out to sea shortly after laying the egg in order to recover her strength, because, well, just imagine producing a 30-pound baby. The mind boggles. And the male should be there just before the female arrives or shortly after to literally take over the egg. The female will lay the egg within an hour of returning. We've confirmed that through observations from the Cahow cams over several years now. And the males are usually synchronized well enough so they arrive just a couple of days before or within hours after the females do return. And so the male is there to basically take over, because the female has to abandon the egg within 2 or 3 days. She has to get out to sea to feed. And the eggs are robust enough to survive this, so it doesn't matter if they're not incubated for a day or two. It will not kill the growing embryo in there. But we're quite excited. We know that some birds have returned. There's a number of nests here. All the early birds literally are returning to lay the eggs. I suspect, I know at least 4 or 5 nests seem to have birds in them, so I'm going to check each nest methodically now. I suspect that some of them will just be males that have just returned. They're waiting patiently for their spouse, probably looking at their clock saying, she's always late, sort of thing. And in other ones, the male she'll have returned already, and she'll have left, and the male will be on the egg. This is the point in which the males are at their maximum weight for the entire breeding year, because they've fed and fed for the last month to stock up fat to carry out this long incubation. It can be up to 2 weeks for the first one. After the female recovers, then they take it about every 5 days or so. They switch and take turns, but the male does the bulk of the incubation in the Cahow world. So we're going to go up and check a couple of these nests. We're pretty sure birds are in, and I'm going to start with number 822. This is one of the original nests that were actually obtained from Australia. They were built for shearwaters that are actually a bit bigger than Cahows are, and there's now several of them on Nonsuch that have birds nesting in them. So this is number 822. So let's see what we've got. Yep. We have a bird and it's on an egg. Fantastic. So this is probably the male bird who is incubating the egg now. And if this is the male bird and not the female bird waiting for the male to return, then this is actually a Nonsuch hatched bird. It hatched as a chick in one of the nests that was occupied by a pair that was translocated to Nonsuch, and it went out to sea for 3 to 4 years, returned back about 4 years ago now, 4 to 5 years ago, and they've been nesting for 3 years, produced 3 eggs, and they've had 2 chicks so far. So they seem like they're going to be a pretty good pair. So I'm excited that this one has an egg in it. I actually had to rebuild this nest because these guys unfortunately flunk nest building school. About a third of the Cahows don't really build very good nests at all. Okay, I think this is the female. And she's probably waiting for the male to return, so I have to eat my words there. And let's see, 320, so minus the weight of the bag, 303 grams. Yeah, that's got to be the female. And that's typical post egg laying weight for a female. So 300. Okay, and then I am going to check her band number. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, this is the female. E0473. E0473. Okay. So that's cool. E0. That's the female bird. 473. Female. Okay, what I'm going to do, because the egg is there, it's very valuable. Carla Marquardt will be joining us again, probably later this week or next week, to start handling the eggs. And, she's assisting us on a, to try and figure out when, the eggs, you can first tell that they're viable, because you can't really tell for several days until the embryo becomes big enough. It starts very, very tiny, and so it's no sense doing it now, because I know this egg has been laid in the last 2 days. So this is, she's just arrived, possibly late. I'd say from the appearance, it's already got a little bit of dirt from the nest and such, so it's probably about 2 days old. So she's waiting for her hubby to come home and say, look, I need you to take over, Junior right now. So I'm going to, now this is an 11-gram bag. So let's see, this looks like a fairly small egg. I recorded 2 eggs on Horn Rock yesterday, and they were both 60 and 61 grams each. This one, yeah, this is a much smaller one. Let's see. This one is 54 grams. So that's about, average to small, I would say. Average to, it's really average. An average egg is, 53 to 58 grams or so. Anything over 58 is big. Anything under that is small. So you can see that's more or less about the size of a jumbo chicken egg. Which from a bird as small as a Cahow, that's quite a thing to do. Okay, and it's incubating it beautifully. There we go. Very careful putting that back in. That is a very, very precious thing. There's still, only about 100, if we're lucky this year, about 160 odd pairs of this seabird on the planet, of which 35 of them are 35 pairs are right here on Nonsuch Island. Okay, so I'm going to put her right back in so she can get back to her egg. Put her right back in. Thank you very, very much. And there she goes. Okay, so that is great. Very first nest we checked had an egg in it. So this is the fun side. Let me just put that down. 54 grams for the egg weight. Okay, so we're going to go up to number 821 nest right now, just up the hill. It's next door neighbor, and it's really neat because I mean, this place now is saturated with nest burrows, and every one of them are active. I think there's three spare nests left that aren't occupied yet. So there still are some surplus, but we're going to have to build new ones very soon. And we lost that opportunity last year because of all the needed hurricane repairs after Hurricane Fiona wreaked havoc on the outer nesting islands. Okay, so I'm going to quickly, hello there. Now this looks more, ow. This looks like the irate, yep, and he's on an egg too. And this is undoubtedly the male, because you can just tell from the shape of his bill and the fact he's very protective of that egg. He was already trying to draw first blood. And this one is known to be, after years of being a quite placid bird, I think he just got tired of being poked and prodded, and he tries to draw blood whenever he can now. He's turned into quite a feisty little one. The same bird's been nesting in here for about 10 years now. And they are very good. They've only failed maybe 2 years out of those 10. So they've produced a lot of chicks already. This is turning out to be one of my really good pairs. So we'll do him first, quickly. Oh, no, I am wrong again. Wrong 2 times, 3 times, and you're out. Again, this has to be a female. Yeah, because she is slightly below 300 grams. A male would be probably 400 to 450 grams at this point. This is when you can really sex them by their weight alone very, very accurately, almost 100% accuracy at this time. Yeah, she is, let's see, 296. So, yeah, that's got to be the female. 296, wow. So, the males are the sluggards now. They have to get their act together and get synchronized. Okay. So let's see. 296 grams, and let's just confirm that with the band number. Now the other way you can tell is by an external cloacal examination, and I'll do that with this bird just to show you. Yeah, this is the female. E0362. E0 0. I'll do the egg. The egg looks like quite a big one. Now, you can usually tell up to 2 weeks after they've laid the egg. This is something that was taught to me by Nick Carlisle from the New South Wales Department of Environment and Climate Change, who trained me for the original translocation. So the Cahow world owes a huge debt of gratitude. Oh yeah, and you can tell right away. There's the cloaca. Now the cloaca is almost identical in both sexes in birds. This one is very big. It's distended. It has like a whitish discharge. That's almost like a lubricating fluid to help make it easier for the birds to go out. But it's kind of puffy looking. It's got puffy lips. The males is at this time is usually small and round and clean and tight. You know, but this has had an egg, a large egg stretched through it. So you can see, yeah, right there. That's undoubtedly the female, and that is the primary way with which I have sexed these. We confirmed it with blood tests with Leticia Campioni and Monica Silva a few years back. We just said, well, let's see how accurate this external cloacal examination is. And it turned out that out of 40 birds, we were correct in all but 1. So it's like well within, what we need. And, even then we can narrow it down after 2 or 3 years of examination. Okay, so just quiet it down now. So while it's just nice and quiet, I'm going to check the egg, and you can see it's quite a big looking egg. This pair usually produces small to medium sized eggs, so this certainly looks like a good size one. Yeah, that's a fairly big egg. Yeah, I can just take a look. Quite elongated too. Quite often the bigger ones are a bit more elongated looking. The smaller ones are often more roundish looking. And let's see. Yeah, this is a fair sized egg. Okay. Wow. 50s. 74. Okay. So I have to weigh this bag just to make sure I'm dead accurate, because 74. Just want, because they do tend to change weight, the bags. So very carefully put it in. Just confirm. Oh yeah, yeah. So 74. So 60. Yeah, 60 grams. 60 grams. So that's a good sized egg. Okay. So everything looks good there. Yep. So we have 2 females. That egg is much cleaner, so I would say that it's very possible this egg was laid in the last 24 hours, or was laid last night. And one of the ways you can tell is because, there's almost no evidence at the entrance. Just come in, rearrange the nest, and within an hour she's laid that egg. So, and she's also very clean. There's no dirt or staining from soil, and it's very wet now from all the rain we had. We had 5 inches of rain in a week last week. So, okay, so I'll just release her in there, and there she goes. Now, the reason why we always release the birds back into the entrance is because the birds want to get away from you. If you put the bird back in the nest chamber, they're going to just want to get away from you, so they rush out towards the entrance. And that's not what we want. We want her to go get away from us there, get back into the safety of her nest. Oh, there's the egg. And we know from numerous observations over many years that usually it's like a minute or two and they're right back on the egg, incubating it as if nothing happened. And they just preen themselves, and that's it, just to unruffle their feathers. Okay, so we're going 2 for 2 so far. I still have another 3 nests to check here that I know birds are in and such, but the first 2 we've checked, both have had females that are incubating the eggs already, so that's great. These are the first eggs I've been able to get in hand and confirm for the 2023 nesting season here on Nonsuch Island. I've already confirmed a few out on Horn Rock, but there seems to be a higher percentage of birds back on Nonsuch than on Horn Rock so far, because that was yesterday. And yeah, so everything looks good. We're having good luck so far. I'm going to continue with the check now while JP goes back to working on the Cahow 1 camera, just so that we make sure that everything is perfectly in order for you to be able to watch what happens over the next few days and such in these nests. Now, it's really going to be worthwhile watching what happens in Cahow Cam 1 and Cahow Cam 2 on the website. Usually Cahow Cam 1 will be the first return, but the female left very early, and so we're not sure if that signifies that maybe she felt she was fertilized already, she had no need to stay here, let's go out and start to feed up to develop this egg. Or it's possible something may have happened to her. We don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. It'll be very interesting in either regard. So they will be the first ones to return, Cahow Cam 1, and then Cahow Cam 2 is usually one of the last ones to return. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't return yet for another, 7 to 10 days or so. They usually they're like by the second week of January. So, yeah, we'll see it. There's, like I say, there's over 34, I believe, nests now, active nests on Nonsuch Island. Might even be 35. There are a couple of new nests being prospected for the first time, so that's exciting. And they're all going to be filling up over the next few days like crazy. They're going to be popping like popcorn. So it's going to be a very important part of our monitoring to confirm exactly when these eggs are laid, because from that we will know when the eggs will be due to hatch, when we come to the end of February and the beginning of March. Carla Marcotte will also be joining us for, I think it's the 4th or 5th year, and she'll be doing candling and very precise measurements of the eggs as part of a study to, just to see what the range is and how it's proven to be a very valuable technique for determining if eggs ever were fertile, and if they were fertile but failed, when did they fail in their development. And this is all tying into some of the work we're doing on contaminants that the birds are picking up from the ocean, contaminants that man unfortunately is dumping into the oceans from agricultural runoff, pesticides and such. So it's all going to be some really exciting stuff. This is the exciting part of the year for me. This is at the end of this period, I'll be able to tell for sure how many active nesting pairs the Cahow population has increased to this year. Will we break last year's record of 156 breeding pairs? I think we will. There seems like there's at least 8 new pairs which may lay their first eggs. So even if we lose a couple of pairs, which we always do every year, it's normal, we're still going to probably go into the 160 plus number for breeding pairs. So we'll let you know this, and we're going to keep you updated continuously from this point on. And hope everybody has a fantastic day. And I'm actually enjoying the sun on my face. It's been a rare thing, and we've had exceptionally stormy, windy weather, and so it's just nice to enjoy slightly less monstrous weather for a change. Everybody have a fantastic day from JP and myself and all the Cahow, the extended Cahow clan on Nonsuch Island, Bermuda. All the best. Okay.